Right, I've got my heavy body gel. Oh, it's 7 o'clock. 2 minutes went quickly. Hello, hello. I think I'm live. Good evening. Good evening. Let's just turn all the sound down. Okay. Let's find my live. Am I there? Oh, there I am. Okay, hi Helen, hi Shelley, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening. Oh, I can't find myself in that one. Come on. Just come on back out. Go back into it. There we go. Yes, we will craft. Hello. Together we will craft. There I am. Let's put my light over the situation. Let's move my phone out of the way. So hopefully everything is in order. Good evening. Hi Connie. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, and welcome to another week of mayhem and misdemeanors. So let's wait. Hi Kim. Let's wait a little bit just to get a few more people on, and then we'll get cracking. I've got a little bit of juice in me big cup. I've postponed my tea, but they've got theirs. It's cottage pie this evening. Nice cottage pie. Hi Jace. Hello. Hope you're awake now. Last time I spoke to you, you were asleep. Good evening, everybody. Let's try and get over 10, shall we, this evening? It's chucking it down. Oh, and it's been such a gorgeous day. It's absolutely piddling down. Piddling down as a very wet day. So I've got a few little goodies to use this evening. I've got some nice rabbits, and I've got some of that lovely Arden product to use as well. I'm hoping shouldn't be a very long live. We'll just see how it goes. We'll just see. I've done a massive de-stash this morning, so I'm a bit tired Teddy because the gas man was there. So we had to clear enough space so we could get in the cubbyhole. Hi Sue, hi Maxine. Yeah, so I'm a little bit, I did have a tiny little shut-eye just before the live, around 5:30. Hi Caroline, good evening, good evening. How are we all doing? Pancake's about to jump up. Come on then. It's a good job the resin's dry. Go on, hurry up. Good boy. Go on. Go on, you can share that Oodie. Keep going, good boys. There we go. So how's everybody's weekend been? Hope it's been okay. That's just Pancake, he's just been out, so hopefully you'll find a little snuggle place. I know he's just passing through, bless him. He's been in the shed anyway. But I've had to take my big fluffy Oodie off because I was too hot while I was cooking tea, so now they've claimed it, haven't you? But Waffle's watching the live, he's facing me, aren't you, pal? Good, a cold bath. Oh, apart from a cold, I thought you said a cold bath. We've had a cold bath. Our hot water's not been working properly, so that's why the gas man came back today. Oh, well, don't be spreading it next week when you come for the retreat, missus. Don't you be spreading any germs. We'll have to get you to walk over a cattle grid and hose you down before you come through the front door at Sarah John's. I think that's what we'll have to do. It's not far off now, is it? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'll be doing the supplies list soon for what you need to bring. It's everything apart from the kitchen sink, usually. Good job you're getting it out of the way. That's very good. Okay, let's get cracking. So, tonight I will be using the new It's the new Stamperia mould, but it's the one that's sort of the old collection, the best sellers collection. So this is available on That's Crafty, and I'm also using the Arden products, the Arden Creative Studio products for tonight's little live. I absolutely love them. Absolutely love them. So for this evening I'll be using it's called decoupage paper, but it's like a rice paper. It's really lovely, nice, and it's sort of a matte on one side, and the back where you glue, it's a little bit silkier, but it's a really lovely thick quality. So I'm going to be using that. That's the pack of them, so you get 4 designs, 3 sheets of each, but really lovely colourways. And it does give you like a little colour swatch, which is very interesting because I'm doing a workshop tomorrow evening around colour theory and a colour wheel and things to make your own. So if you're interested in doing a bit of colour theory, I've got a workshop running tomorrow evening in a little private group, and it's my £10 Tuesday workshops, and it's actually on a Tuesday. So that's the decoupage paper. That's available from That's Crafty, and this is a Katie Pertier design. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, but she has done a lot of design for 49 Market as well, so really lovely designs. So I've got that piece of the decoupage paper. I think I'm going to be using this stamp set here for the ferns. So this is Fern Valley, and it's got a lovely little dragonfly on that, which I might well use as well. Nice little one. And then I think I might be using the laser cuts or the die cut shapes, the ephemera shapes. I know they might be out of stock on That's Crafty, but I think the ephemera shapes were still available. Yeah, and they've also got a beautiful 8x8 pad, so I think I might be using some of them as well. Hi Lynn, hi Dina. So I'm also using a wood slice. So I found a box of these. I had them for Christmas, so I used to do little snowmen things on them. But I thought, no, let's do a little bit of decoupage paper on this and build it up and have a little woodland scene with my little rabbits. Hi Angela, you alright, lovely? Hello, hello, hello everybody. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try and stop saying so as well, because that's really irritating me already. And it's me, the one that's saying it. I will just get a little piece of scrap paper. Philippa Winter McCartney. Hello, lady. She's in the house. Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to first give this a coat of white gesso. So I'm just using my That's Crafty white gesso. It's got an orange tin, a yellowy tin, but it's actually pure white inside. And let's get that painted. I'm just trying to find the least offensive paintbrush. I think that's about okay. Oh, and it's got a bit of black on that. I don't think I'll use that one. This grubby one will do. Oh, thanks, Angela. Okay, so a little bit of That's Crafty white gesso, so that's going to go underneath, so that when I pop the decoupage paper over the top, it'll show the true colour of it, because if you just put it on the wood chip background, it'll just merge into that background and look quite pale. So I do want a pop of colour behind it. There we go, so a little bit of white gesso. Give that a quick blast with my heat gun. So I'm very proud of myself today. I've tipped out about 4 bin bags of stuff. And it might nearly be ready for my Kallax unit that's only been there for about 8 months, I would say. So all the stuff I've used tonight I will put in the comments of the final project when I put it up on the group. Okay, so that's nice and dry. I could put an extra layer of that on. Oh, and I only forgot to pick box 2 up of 2. Oh, that's really funny. That's very funny. Oh, all right, lovely Caroline. I'll see you later. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy. See you later. Okay, and then next I'm going to use the decoupage varnish and glue. This is a Pentart one and it's the matte. So this will work as the base for the decoupage paper. This will, oh, the sticky bit is so noisy, that rain outside. And it's been such a glorious day. We've even had some towels outside drying. Oh, it's proper emptying it down. Okay. Oh, thanks, Shelley. That'd be lovely. So this is just the Pentart decoupage varnish and glue. I think Laura still might have some. And her white gesso from That's Crafty as well. So a nice good coat of the decoupage varnish and glue. But thanks for doing that, Shelley. If you don't get a chance, it's okay, because I can also pop the links in the comments later as well. So if you can hear that noise in the background, it's absolutely bobbling down. And I'm just going to put this directly over the top. Give it a really nice smooth down. That a nice smooth all the way round. And then what I'm going to do, oops, is just carefully just go around the edge and just tear just around the edge for now. There's little bits that I've missed that I'm tearing off. That's okay, because I'm going to go around the edge with a little bit of VersaFine Clair as well. So if you've got some sandpaper or a nail file, you can always rub the end off. But this, because I'm using a wood chip, it is quite rough around the edges anyway, so it helps to tear that off anyway. Oh, it's just beautiful, that. Such a beautiful image. That's my background image. I've still got these little bits and pieces that I'll save. Oh, they are beautiful. And everything is really reasonably priced as well. That's what I really like about this collection. It's a UK based one and it's very affordable. And then just very quickly, I am just going to give it a little bit of the matte varnish over the top. So I'm still using the matte varnish and glue, so you can also use the matte varnish on its own over the top, but this is good as the under and overcoat of your project. I mean, there is a Stamperia mould, which is the wood chip one anyway. I haven't got it, but I'm debating whether or not I might need it. I don't know. I don't know. Let's give that a blast. Hello, Glynis. I thought about you and Philippa on Saturday because I was up on the M62 up near Oh, near shore and no, where's the moors and Saddleworth Moors? So that's on the way to you. But I did think about you both. Nice and dry. Then I'm going to get my brown VersaFine Clair, I think, or am I going to get my green? No, I'm going to get my brown. Decisions. Let's just get a little bit of ink just on those white patches as well, where I've torn the decoupage paper. Pennines, is it the Pennines, Saddleworth? I don't know. It's on the way towards Leeds anyway. And Halifax and Huddersfield. So that where my friend lives, she's right up on the moors, and sometimes the road to theirs does get shut because of the weather, and they have to go to the next junction and then back over the pass because it's so horrible. Okay, these are my beautiful Stamperia rabbits. So these are from the bestsellers collection. Who doesn't like a rabbit? So I did mould quite a few, and then I'll choose which one or two I'll use. I only did it 10 minutes before the live, so this was with the amazing casting resin, and it was just a little cupful that I used, so I managed to get quite a few of these little bunnies done. Oh, okay, lovely. I do like it round there. But some very steep hills and very windy roads. Oh, they're just adorable, these rabbits. I'll choose one in a second. I just used some of the excess to do some other little leaves and things. But it's a very little, very thick mould, this. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Philippa Norman, poor Norman. I've even managed to get a little butterfly. I just need to cut that out just with the excess resin. Because I've not long moulded it, it's still a little bit flexible, so I can still cut it. There we go. And then I had a tiny bit left, so I've done part of one of the little houses as well. I love it because there's two big sort of fairy doors, and there's a couple of windows, and then there's a beautiful lantern, very pretty lantern, and lots of florals, big fat florals, few leaves, but the main thing was for the rabbits, because we love rabbits. So while my gesso is out, I might as well give my little rabbit a little bit of a coat of gesso. And I'm thinking, so let's just have a little look what rabbit I would like to have on my little wood slice. I quite like that little one. I think maybe that little one down at the bottom, or that standing one there. Maybe the standing one. I think that one. Okay, they can be saved for another little project. It's a little butterfly. Let's just move those out of the way, and I'll just gesso this little babe. Oh, and I don't know if you saw yesterday, I made a sheep. Did a felting workshop and made a little sheep. Steve's claimed it already, and I didn't say he could have it, but as soon as I walked through the door he was giggling and he was just loved it. It's sat on the top of his shelf now. Barnabas his name is. But we're right into this felting now, and then my niece came because she was jealous of the rabbit that I did last month. So she came and everybody thought it was me, which I'm very flattered about because she's 20 years younger than me. Yeah, I'll show you my rabbit, me sheep. Steve, can you just pass us the sheep a second? Barnabas, just a little second. I know, weren't they adorable? But my niece won. She did white body with black wool for it, and he was gorgeous. But there's my little sheep. Look at his little face. It's called Barnabas Chinnery because he's got a little bit of a Brucey chin going on there. But there he is. Look at him, his little smiley face. It was absolutely amazing to make, and it's all, I mean, it's proper curly sheep's wool. They even gave, where she gets the wool from, they even give you the name of the sheep it comes from. How fab is that? It's so cute, isn't he? He's got a little bit of curly hair there. So yeah, I think, well, we might possibly be doing a little bit of felting on the retreat. So, you ready, Steve? So, anybody coming on the retreat, that might be a little activity. Well, one space is still available. Hashtag just saying, Glynis. And don't forget, if you do heat this amazing casting resin, obviously it gets hot, but it has a little bit of flexibility to it. So if it's not quite flat at the back, you can press it. You can press it so it's a little bit flatter for your surface that it's going on. Right, let's get some grey paint on this. I'm using that's Crafty multi-surface paint, and I'll be using, obviously, my chestnut brown, because why would you use any other colour? And also the grey. There it is, the little grey. Oh, no, I'm not going to use my black. I'll use my, I tend to use my acrylic marker for that. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of brown first. Oh, I know, it was so funny when Helen said it was me, and then Stephanie said it was me, and then one of my other friends said it was me, and I was like, no, I promise you, it's not me. I can't see the resemblance, obviously, because she's my niece, but I suppose people who don't know us, there is a very definite resemblance there, and I have now got the same hair colour as her, purely coincidental. But that's almost like my natural colour, so yeah, it was just quite funny. But yeah, she did win on the sheep stakes, and my mum's was beautiful. My mum did she did a little pink one. Oh, that's exciting. I've not counted the sleeps, gosh. I spoke to Jill yesterday, and I've got the shopping list that I need to get for all the supplies. Unfortunately, I've lost my notes for the projects for the next 3 retreats after this one, so I'll have to sort that out, find it. It's been one of my boxes behind. So I've got a little bit of brown first, just to grab a bit of colour on him. And you could leave him brown if you wanted like a nice hair, but I want to do a nice greyish colour bunny. He is lovely. Yeah, no, it wasn't just you, Helen. It was just quite funny. Thought, oh yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. She's in her 30s. Definitely take it. And then I'll just wash this brush off, and I'm going to do a little bit of dry brushing with the grey. Now I haven't put a big load of the brown on it, the chocolate brown, so it is almost dry automatically. It's a very thin coat of brown that I put on. See, very little coming back off my tissue. So now I'm going to go in with a little bit of this grey over the top. Now hopefully you can see the detail. I could also bring the camera down a little bit, so just bear with. There you go, I've just brought the camera down a little bit so you might be able to see a bit more detail. So I'm just going to grab my brush in the pot lid just to take some of the excess away, and then just very lightly brush over the top of that brown, and it will really pick up some of the detail. Don't forget the side bits as well, where you've just either got the white gesso or the white from the resin. But doing it in a couple of colours like this, it really gives it a little lifelike quality, rather than it just being a flat colour of grey or a flat colour of brown. Oh, well, that's such a shame, Glynis, but we understand. Hi, Marjorie, how are you, lovely? So I've still got a little bit of brown peeping through, but I've got a nice little bit of grey over the top. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit of the red, just for his little inside of his ears. And as from last week, most of the lives that I'll be doing, I'll upload them afterwards onto my YouTube channel as well. So the That's Crafty ones that I've done on a Tuesday will go on That's Crafty, but the rest of them will go up on my own YouTube channel. So it's Liz Wheeler Designs. I have put the link on here before, but I will put it again in the comments once I've finished the project. So a little bit of pink on his little ears. Well, it's red, but I've only used a very light coat of that. He's so sweet. And then I've got a little black acrylic marker pen so that I can colour in his eyes and his little nose. So let me just take my glasses off for this so I can see what I'm doing. So you could use a paintbrush, obviously, but let's give it a blast with a heat gun to make sure it's properly dry. Problem with the paint is it might just go over his eye, and I want it quite precise. There we go. And I don't want his head falling off either. Okay, I can see now. Let's try and get that paint off it. Oh, let's use my thicker one. That's only thin. I've got a thicker. That's better. That's a pump action one, so It's got a better nib to that one. There we go. So a little bit of a black eye, and a little bit on the tip of his nose. There. And then I'll come back in with a little bit of white in a second. So there's my little rabbit, but what I'm going to do is just do a tiny little bit of dry brushing just over the top of him with this white gesso. Very, very little colour on my brush, so let's get that as dry as I can. And a little bit of the white gesso, knock most of it off. And then just ever so light brushing. Really, really light brushing over the top. And what it does, you can still see the colour underneath of the brown, you can still see the grey, but it's picking up lots of the little hair details. Not hair as in animal hair, but hair as in the hair on your head. So it picks up all of that detail. It's such a detailed mould, even his little whiskers. So it does make him a little bit more rabbit-like, a bit more lifelike. There we go. So hopefully you can see that. Lovely little bit of rabbit. He's got a little white chin, little white face. I was almost going to sing Tommy Steele then, little white bull. Do you remember that? Gosh. I'm sure I've had a conversation about Tommy Steele a while ago. So there's my little bunny. He's gorgeous, isn't he? So he will sit quite nicely on there. But now I want to sort of create that little background for him. So let's get my stamps out. And these are the Fern Valley stamps from Arden Creative Studio. And I want this big fat juicy one here. And if you ever find that the back of your stamps get a bit dry and not as sticky, if you use a nice alcohol wipe or some alcohol spray, I know those of you that do use the UV resin will have like a nice alcohol spray. I think Laura's got some. I know she had it on the sale on her website. That will help clear all the gump from behind it and help to re-stick it. So this is the Rainforest green, and I've also got a Shady Lane. So I'll use two of the ink pads and do two different colours of this. Arden, well, they're based in the UK, yeah. Arden Creative Studio. Redditch they're based. But yeah, they're based in the UK. And they haven't really got a lot of UK suppliers, actually. I know Laura is one, so... And like I say, so it's quite nice to have an affordable brand, and it's UK based as well, so it's good to sort of support that. Right, I need some card. Well, actually, I'm going to use some. Are you still there, Angela? Here. I'm going to use some watercolour card. Are you alright, Angela? You're still there, lovely? Can everybody else still see me? Or is it just Angela? So with this, I've got some of my lovely watercolour paper. I'm okay with that not stamping. It's because I had it on a extra surface. So let's do a couple of green in this colour. And if you've got a stamp platform, obviously you can use that. I always forget to use mine because I'm not that bothered if it's not a perfect stamp. So I have pressed on a little bit harder with that one. So it's a nice thick green. And then I'll use the Shady Lane as well. It's just so I can layer up these stamps so that the background looks a little bit more interesting. And then the Shady Lane. Hi Maureen. Hi Sharon. So I should get 4 on here. What time is it with you, Sharon? Is it morning? And then, oh, I'll just get that one in. Very good. Okay. I've pressed on quite hard and I must have still had... Oh no, because I inked in the wrong blooming... Nobody told me I inked the wrong colour then, you lot. See, I'm too busy chatting away there to Sharon. Okay, right, let's use the right one this time. Yeah, Shady Lane is the second one that I'm using. Just dry that off. Oh, 6:05 Tuesday, gosh. Well, I'm quite proud of myself because I did get up early today. I think it might have been about before 8 maybe, or maybe. But it was definitely early because I did some de-stashing. That's better. Okay, so I've got that. I'm also going to do a couple, just a couple, and then we'll see what happens as we build it up. A couple of the solid silhouette ones as well. But I think I'm going to use this bigger one because it has a bigger profile to cut out, because I want to 3D them off the page. So this is going to be more in the background, so I'm going to do it a little bit lighter with that Shady Lane. Hi Ginny, alright lovely. So a couple of those. Like that. And it's a little bit patchy because I am using it on a very thick watercolour paper. But that's okay. They are lovely stamps, aren't they? So when I'm a bit patchy, it's just because of how I'm stamping. So I can actually go back over if I need to. I am using really thick, the Cardi watercolour paper, the handmade paper. And then I've used my own advice. I've cut down the side so it's easy to get the stamps in and out, because those little plastic wallets that stamps come in are an absolute pain. They really are. So now I just want to use a little bit of green paint just to fill in some of those areas. So I've got my Evergreen multi-surface paint, and I'm also going to use this Midnight because I want to mix a couple of darker colours. I had to go at cleaning my palette. I wasn't particularly successful, but never mind. So this is a really nice green, and it does coordinate really well with that decoupage paper. So that's a really lovely deep green, that Evergreen one, and it is a nice big pot. This, I had to top up my green. The other one was a lighter one, but I always like quite a dark green. So this is Evergreen and it's a 60ml pot, but this will last me for ages. And then I'm also going to mix some of it with the Midnight Blue, which is a beautiful colour as well, and this is to create an even darker blue. So let's just scrape a little bit of that blue off the lid, like that. So already just mixing it with the green I've already got, I've just changed that blue automatically to more of a really sort of dark emerald. And if you see the decoupage paper, it'll go really well with that. That's what I think anyway. And I don't want it too thick, so let me add some water now to this. So let's just get a little bit of water in that pot there. So that's a really watered down version of that. And this is just going to go through those little fronds. Let's add a little bit of green to that. So it just means you can add layers of colour on this, because with these acrylic paints I tend to use a lot of them as watercolour paints and really water them down, so that green that's just on its own, again I can create some lighter colours with it. And then let's get a tiny little bit of yellow. No, I'm going to use my apricot. Yep, so I'm going to use a little bit of my apricot rather than a yellow, because I don't want it really sort of limey, and the problem with yellow, it can create a lime colour, but with this apricot it tones it down beautifully. So let's get that towards the bottom, so if you can see the difference now in that green, just adding a tiny bit of the apricot. That's it, let's just water a bit of that down. There we go. You know, so don't just think one colour is the one colour that it's got to be. You can mix and match them, and obviously those that are coming on my workshop tomorrow evening will realise that. So if anybody's still interested, I will put the link in the comments. It's tomorrow night between about 7 and 9 o'clock it'll be, but the video tutorial will still be available if you can't make it tomorrow night. And then I'll also upload it to a private YouTube link as well, just accessible by the workshop attendees, because I know quite a few of you like to watch it on the big screen. So that's mixing it with the apricot, and then let's just add a little bit of the original green in there as well. So don't be afraid of using 2 or 3 colours when you are doing your stamping, to make these leaves and fronds and whatever personal to you, to make them look a little bit more realistic. Go back over some of the colour that you've already done to build up those shades within it, so you've got more depth to them. Rather than using black, think about using a darker shade of the colour that you're using, or mix other colours with it. So that's one lot. Oh, somebody's binging me a lot. I hope it's to tell me I've won the lottery, but I don't think it is. Right, let's just get some of that mixed in with that. So I'm just filling in some of the little gaps of there. And then when I'm going to cut it, I'm going to feather cut it as well, which will also give it some movement and depth. If you're into your watercolour paints, obviously use those, but my go-to is mostly the acrylic paints. Let's get a little bit of the darker colour on there. So I'm just dropping bits of water on it and then dibby dabbing, which is a technique, isn't it? Bit of dibby dabbing. And I think that will do. That will do, donkey. Let's just add a little bit darker down there. So once it's dried off, you can go in with a more intense colour. Just like that. Just like that. Okay, I think that will do. That will do. Right, so let's get those cut out and dried. Oh, my little rabbit's staring at me there, bless him. Okay, let's get all of these paints away. Do-do-do-do-do. A little blast. Okay, let's get these cut out. I don't think I'll use all of them. I'll just choose a couple of these. I like that one and the end one. I'll save those for another project. And then let's cut them. So I'm going to cut them as near as I can to the outline, and then I'm also going to cut in towards the centre of the spine on the leaf on some of the little elements, just so that I can fold them backwards. And don't worry about missing some of the leaves out. It's personal to you as you cut it out. It doesn't have to be exactly as it's stamped. If you want to cut a couple of the leaves out to make it look more natural, you can do. If you just want to cut the top section out, you use that as a different way to create an extra shape. So they are quite versatile, these as well. You don't have to do them the size that you've stamped. You can cut them down into 2 or 3 different layers. So that one I've cut right down to the centre. But I'm not being too precious about every shape, because I've gone in with that paint right over the surface of it, and it has spread a little bit because it's been watered down. It's gone past the outline. So see what I mean? Because I've cut right into it, I can fold up some of these little fronds to make it more movable. And you can even, because I've used that paper, I can give it a right good scrunchy crease in my hand and then dry it so that it looks more natural as well. And if I'm worried about any of the background showing, I can just ink around the edges of it with the green ink. So I'll do the same with these others. I'll do them quite quickly. Oh, I've got a really bad neck. I was sat up in a really funny position last night when I was asleep. And I've also just had a little bobies, we call it, a little sleep, a little nap, before I sorted tea out tonight. And I slept here where I'm sat. So my neck is just a little bit hurting, so I'll just need to be careful of that. So no crochet in bed for me tonight. I've been doing loads of jellyfish. Yeah, we might have to do a road trip to Australia. Helen, what do you reckon for one of the retreats? That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Do it over in Australia. Be nice to do an abroad one, wouldn't it? I've said about doing it on a coach trip somewhere, one of these cheap coach trips. I don't necessarily think a boat trip would suit me. I'm not a very good sailor. I don't like boats, to be honest. So, same leaf, 2 different styles of colour. As we said about going down to Bournemouth, because that cheap coach trip I went on with my pal to Bournemouth, that'd have been brilliant as a little retreat place. Pick people up on the way. So again, really random cutting around the edge of this. So it's a matter of moving your paper, not moving your scissors to get that nice chunky cutting. Is that a phrase, chunky cutting? No, it's not a phrase. He's going, no, it's not. I don't know where. I'll have to get my toolkit out from me Christmas box, because all my smaller scissors are in there that I usually use for doing little areas like this, rather than my big massive Gillian kitchen scissors. I know, but it is like cutting with kitchen scissors. So that's another little one in the background. And then just that one. I think just 4 leaves will do. Oh, see, that's a good idea, Helen. Helen's Fun Bus Tours. It'd be like on the buses, wouldn't it? Get Jason to drive. That'd be really funny. You can do teas in the background. You can be the Olive, can't you? Do you remember the Olive character? That was his sister, wasn't it? She was in EastEnders, wasn't she? Was she Peggy's sister or something? Oh, my neck. My neck's very poorly. Ow, 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 ow. Tiddy Widdy Beach. What a fabulous name. So whereabouts is that, Sharon? Tiddy Widdy Beach. Let's cut right down to the centre of some of these as well. Just change the shape a little bit. It sounds like the rain stopped anyway. Oh, Helen, you're funny. You're funny. See, if anyone watches this back on YouTube, it's just me talking random nonsense, because obviously people can't see the comments that you lot are making. So, yeah, there we go. So I've got a little bit of background going on there. So get me little wood slice the right way up. And then right on the edges of these, I'm going to ink round with some of this ink. I don't know what I've done with my little. Oh, there you are. There you are, you little monkey. I've lost my little one. I need to top up on these, to be honest. My little sponge thing snapped on that one. There we go. I've inked it too vigorously. There we go. So I'm going to use this dark one to go around the edges, and that will replicate some of these darker leaves. So coming right in with that ink. Again, oh, I'll have to watch that, don't come off for ages. There we go. So it's just transformed it again just by edging round it. So I'll do that on this one. So it looks like that now. And then with a little bit of this rainforest, just picking up some of the edges, it just adds an extra dimension again. All these little cats are snoring away now. That's quite funny in front of me. So again, it just transforms those leaves. Obviously you could go outside and pick your own leaves, but why would you when you've got these delicious stamps available? And then this one, I'm going to do the lighter one, I'm going to do the Shady Lane on this one. So let's just change my little bibbidi bobbidi boo. Just to a lighter shade. Let's put them back. I've got a clean bag and a dirty bag, and hopefully they haven't been contaminated. There we go. So this is using the Shady Lane on the edge now. So again, it gives it another different look. There we go. So see the two different ones already, and then one of them I'm going to put a little bit of brown on it as well. So I've got a little bit of brown on there. But that's what I like about these stamps. So the silhouette stamps can be any colour that you want. Don't necessarily have to be black, but they give you the full solid shape. But then these frondy ones that are open, you can match them to any season of leaf that you want just by changing the colourway. So reds and browns for autumn, blues even for your Christmassy ones, blues and whites and silvers. And then for your summers, really nice big fat lush greens. So, you know, do mixy match them. And then these, I'm just going to position these just sort of randomly in the background now. So I've got my little bunny there, but these are going to be sort of tucked behind him, so he's going to be in the foliage a little bit. So I've got my heavy body gel. I could just use normal glue on this, but I really want to get them grabbed. And because they're a little bit 3D, because I've folded and bent them, that heavy body gel really does help. So this is a glossy one. It doesn't matter because it's going to be in the background. You're not going to see it. So again, a really lovely, thick, gooey gel medium. Brilliant for attaching certainly your resin pieces, but anything that you know you want to have a little bit off the surface, and you know it's got a beautiful grab to it. So I'm not being overly precise, I'm just going to go over the top of some of these, tuck behind so I can still see some of that background there. But because most of it's raised off the surface, I only need to put a little bit at the bottom. Let's get another little one tucked behind there. So I'm putting a, you know, I'm not being mean with this gel medium. There's plenty in the pot. I've just got that little butterfly oozing out of the back there, but if I hide it, it doesn't matter because I've got some cut out shapes of butterflies anyway. Oh, so there you go. So you can see how that's starting to layer up. Then let's put little bunny down there, and then I'll start filling it up with some of the other shapes as well. So let's get bunny on. Oops, watch his little ear. And then I've got, let me just put a little bit of white. I've got a white acrylic marker. Just to add a little bit of white to his eye. There you go. So he just looks a little bit like he's not got his eyes shut. I do like a bit of Peter Rabbit. Hi Patricia lovely. I don't know if you've just come back in, but your name's just popped up. Watched a cracking film this afternoon with Olivia de Havilland, where she played twins, one an evil twin and one a good twin. 1940 something it was. I do love an old film, you know. Absolutely adore black and white movies. The old noir films. What are they called? Something noir? Film noir, isn't it? Something noir. Film noir. So there's my little bunny. Oh, look at him. Oh, I think he's gorgeous. Look at him. So there he is on there. Right, let's see what we've got. Now, I've got these laser cuts. I think they are sold out, but they've also got, if you can't get hold of them, they've got these ephemera elements, which are equally as good. They have got a white outline, but you can cut those out. So there's loads of pieces in it. So I think actually I might find some bits and pieces for that. I did use it because I did my live in my Journal It group on Friday. Oh, hi Jill, I hope you're alright, lovely. This is one that I did in my journal group on Friday using these. So this is using the some of the ephemera pack and some of the laser cuts as well, and papers on that one. So it is, you know, mix and match them. They all work together. That's the whole point of the collection. Anyway, I digress. So I'm going to use some of them, and I am going to use, I think, this sheet from the sheet of papers, the 8x8. And I might use some of them as well. We'll just see how we're getting on. What time are we at? It's just gone 8 o'clock. We've done very well for time, I think. We're doing all right. Oh, see, I've moved that now, and now I've come out my live on that page. Okay. Again, I've cut the sides, so they're easy to get out. So I want things now at the bottom here to fill some more of that space. Now, these are double-sided, so there's 2 cards that open out of these. So on here they've got little tickets, but on the back are blank as well. So if you wanted to write your own greeting or whatever, you can do. So I'm just going to use some of these smaller floral elements to stick around the front. So these are like in blues and that, which go really nicely with that midnight blue that I used earlier for the paint. So I'm going to punch out some of these little flowers to fill that. Some of these smaller little elements. I've got a little yellow butterfly there. I just think they're adorable. Let's get them. Right, let's get some of the white flowers now. So that's this one here. And I've got this little beauty here, and then I'm going to go in the ephemera pack and see what I can pull out of there as well. And I'll just cut the white off there, or I'll edge round it with the green. So I've not cut the edge off that because that would be an absolute pain picking all those back up, because they will come out of the side. So this is the ephemera pack, 112 die cut pieces. So let's just grab a handful of them and then just pick out some that we can use on our project. So I'm not being skinny at all with this project. I want to create a nice big floral area for our little bunny rabbit to be sat in. So again, there's some beautiful butterflies there. This little ladybird, so I might just cut that ladybird out. I think I might just use that floral there. An abundance, you're not kidding. They are lovely colours, and I think that, right, I might be okay now with that. You know, we're not going crackers, just a bit crackers. But there's some beautiful shapes in this, ephemera pack. Absolutely tons. Oh, look at that. So this will last me ages. And I did do a couple of cards as well. Let me just see if I can find the other one that's very similar to the, I'll put it in a bag now, but very similar to the box that I did on Friday. Again, that's just using the little die cut elements there and the papers. But you can see I've still got the outline. I've just edged it with a little bit of brown. But that's quite pretty. So I've done a couple of those cards. But there's the other one. Oh, that's the other one with that nice shape and the little butterfly as well. But nice. Really nice. I really like this collection. You can tell, can't you? I really like it. It's a very lovely collection. And absolutely jam-packed, stuffed with stuff. Oh, get it finished. Oh, no carrots, Sharon, I'm afraid. No carrots, but you could always make your own carrot. Just a bit of orange. Or yellow. Got yellow carrots now, haven't they? In some of these trendy restaurants. Right then, let's get going on some of these elements. So again, I'm going to, I'm just going to pull that off there. So some of these leaves on these petals, I'm just going to cut straight up a little bit more towards the centre of the flower, and then it just means I can bend them into a more, or tear it into a more 3D shape. That's terrible. Oh. Let's just edge around that. Yeah, or you could sort of tear it in half, it doesn't really matter. And then that can be tucked behind. So again, I'm going to use my, purple ones as well, weren't they? A little bit of gesso behind that. Not gesso, Everybody gel. So I'll just start building up some of these little florals. So yeah, just be careful if you do tear it, that when you're folding it and bending it in your hand, obviously don't rip it. Gently, gently, Glynis, come on, gently, gently, lady. And then a little bit more there. So again, I can just tuck little elements. The rabbit's still not stuck down properly yet, so I can shove some things behind him. Let's have a look. We've got some of that beautiful, look at that beautiful thing. So I can have that at the front. I'm going to leave that as the front bit so he can be sniffing that flower. Not that he's obsessed with sniffing flowers. You've got to be gentle, Glynis, come on. And then these can be just tucked behind. So that's what I mean, you've got so much to play with this collection. I just think it's gorgeous. Again, so I can still see little bits of my decoupage paper in the background, so I'm not going to cover all of it, but I am going to cover some of it. I don't think I'll need that. Let's just put this other little one just in front of that one. La 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 la. So a little bit of that there, a little bit of that. I don't think I'll need that one. I'm going to use that butterfly. So what I want to do is just give his little wings a little push up, so that all I'm going to glue is the back of his little spine, just down the middle section of his little body, so that his little wings are still raised, and that can sit that can sit on that leaf there. So I've got that butterfly just casually sitting on that leaf there. This one that's got the outline, I'm going to cut that outline out really quickly. You know, so don't be afraid to do that. If he loses his antennae, he loses his antennae. But I'll try to be careful and cut that out. I think you have to talk really quietly, don't you, when you're cutting something really small, and you certainly have to stick your tongue out as well. Just that last bit. Let's just give it a little bit of an ink around the edges. There we go. Let's ink his little antennae. Again, fold his little wings up, leaving a little flat shape in the centre, and then just edge down that. Oh gosh, that's exciting. A machine embroidery workshop. I actually moved the box that's got my overlocker in. So that's an achievement, actually touching the box, because I've not had it out since I went on that workshop to learn how to use it 2 years ago. Right, so my other little butterfly can just sit up there on that one, down there, up there, no, up there, up there, up there. Oh, I'm thinking that's beautiful. I love it, I love it, I love it. Right, I can't even be mithered cutting around the edge of this blooming ladybird. Let me just, I'm just going to ink round the edges in brown and just stick it down so it looks fairly, I'll stick it sort of fairly flattish. Oh, shall I try and cut them out? I'll try and cut round his little body. You don't often see the legs anyway, do you? That'll be my excuse. Yeah, who does little fiddly legs? Right, let me just... You can teach a blooming workshop, you, Philippa Winter McCartney. You with your Wurlitzer machine that comes up from the desk playing a tune, doesn't it? Gosh, my fingers are shocking. I need a proper manicure and a pedicure really, but I don't like people touching my feet, so I don't think that's going to happen. I've got a feet phobia. Right, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I have to take my glasses off. So I've cut the little legs up on this. That looks like a right gammy leg. It looks like he's in plaster. That's fine. Right, I've got my little ladybird there, so she can go. Oh, just down here. Little ladybird down at the bottom. There we go. You go down on there, lovely. And then the last little bit I want to do, don't glue there, is stick this little beauty just so he's sniffing it. So let's get a nice blob of gel medium on the back of that to raise it up. a tiny little dab just down that stem, just catching some of those leaves, and then try and position it so it's just in front of his little nose like that. Oh gosh, that's pretty. I like that. Right, I don't need them, they can go back in the pack. Now I was going to use some of that. I might still do that. Oh no, there we go. From the ephemera pack, I'm not going to use that 8x8 piece. Sarah John, hello lovely. Is a little die cut element called In This Moment. So I'm going to just edge around the edge of that. I'm going to edge around the edge. Let's just get that. Then let's just have a look where I can position it. In this moment. It could be there, but I think I might do it up there. Up there, I think. So again, let's get my gel medium. It's had its money's worth tonight, this gel medium, I tell you. I tell you. I like this. There we go. And then, oh gosh, don't be flipping off my page there. Right, okay. So that will go just up there. Now, what I'm going to do, let me just put it on some card first, or I might even put it on some of that watercolour paper. I just need it to be a little bit thicker than it is. So let's just stick that down, and I just need it a little bit more substantial to stick across that leaf. So I've just put it on some of that spare. There we go, squish that down. That's a little bit better. Well, there's two of us giving lifts. There's two at least that don't get dropped off and then picked up on the Sunday. So I don't think there'll be an issue, Helen. I bring Ginny. Jill usually gives a lift. And then I know two of the ladies will be getting a lift. You're getting a lift, aren't you, Philippa? Winter McCartney. Yeah. So you'll be fine. There's probably only about me, Jill, Gillian, 1, 2, 3 of us possibly with cars. So you might be alright. But I might just tell everyone to bring the cars just out of spite. No, that's mean, isn't it? Right, and then all I'm going to do, I've got a little fine paintbrush there, and I just want to lift off some of that, just a little bit of the excess of that gel medium there. Because it is glossy, I don't want it glossy, it's like he's dribbling. So what I'm going to do, there's a little bit of glossy gel there. I'm going to get that matte varnish and paint over it. So that's just a little top tip. If ever you've got like a gloss area that you don't want, get some of your matte varnish and just paint over it, and it will definitely help, because it'll dry matte and it won't be shiny. So I'm just doubling up just to make sure I've got no other matte areas. So it's just poked through a little bit on that stalk. But other than that, I think I'm pretty good to go. So it just tones it down from being very shiny, because you don't always want a shiny background. Oh, I absolutely love that. I love it. Okay, I think I might be done. I think I might be done. Let me just shift all the gubbins. Let me just move that out of the way so it doesn't get stuck anywhere. Let's shift that, let's shift that. Right, let's just move all these bits out of the way. Oops. I'll just see what, I might put a little bit more gel medium behind some of the elements, but some of them I might not. That's a lovely clear piece of paper. Let's come down a bit further now. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. But it's got some real depth to it, that. There you go. And that rabbit has got so much detail to it. It's beautiful. But it's got some real depth to it. But a lovely little spring piece. And what I'll get Steve to do is just drill a little hole at the top, and that'll be a nice little wall hanger. Or I could put a little stand behind it just to be a little stand. But there we are, my darlings. Thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed that tonight. So I will take some photos. I will put the link to the tomorrow night's workshop, which is a colour theory one, where you get to create your own colour wheel and mix and match some colours to create your own little palette. I'll put the link to the page for that. That's my £10 Tuesday workshop. Other than that, I've got a workshop on Sunday, which is a travel journal faux leather. Again, I can put the link for that. That's in a private workshop group Sunday morning. And then other than that, I'll be live, I think, Friday afternoon in my journaling templates club. And then it's retreat, really. Retreat ahead in the next couple of weeks. So a lot of focus will be on that. But there we are, my lovelies. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see some of you tomorrow evening for the workshop. But have a lovely rest of the week. See you later, lovelies. All right. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Steve. Thank you. Yeah, finished now. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye.